Hello dear student, I hope all of you are doing well. Today's session we will try to do with this grammar fun, and I request all of you please open your book at page number 21 and see there so that you can learn it properly. So you see in the grammar part or grammar fun you can see we are going to study about this subject and predicate. Subject and predicate. I think all of you know about this subject and predicate. In your lower classes also you have studied it. So it is not a new concept at all. So let us go forward at a speed manner. Okay, we will try to go on doing the exercise parts. I think all of you can understand this one. So let's read and try to complete this one quickly. A sentence has two parts, the subject and the predicate. I think all of you can understand this one. There are two parts. A sentence can be divided into two parts. One part is your subject and another part is your predicate. Okay, I think you can do that one. You can understand. Now, the part of a sentence which names a person, place or thing is called the subject, and similarly the part of the predicate of a sentence is that part which contains everything other than the subject. I have underlined all those things. You can easily see them and you can keep them in your memory. Next, the verb of the sentence is always part of the predicate. This is one thing that you need to keep in your memory. Verb is always the part of the predicate. So you can see here, our emperor wants to meet Tenali Raman is given here. So you see, our emperor, we are telling about a person, our emperor, and it becomes the subject, and wants to meet Tenali Raman has become the predicate part. So you can easily distinguish between the subject from the predicate in the sentence. Okay, so and also one more thing, that is, as it is told, want is the subject, want is the verb here, and it has become the part of the predicate. I think all of you are understanding. It is very easy to do, is not so? So let us try with this number G exercise. Match the subject with the correct predicates to make complete sentences. So I have marked out the answers here. You can see the first one, the young one of a lion, is matched with number D part of column B. You can easily do that one. It is written here. The is called a cub. Similarly, a pair of pigeon is matching with number E, is written here, has made a nest on the window ledge. Everything are there. So everything is there. All of you please try to see here and you can easily do that one. I hope it is not a problem. Tamil, this Tamil is matching with number A, is one of the oldest language in the world. So like that way, all of you please try to go on doing. I have marked out the answers here by the side, D, E, A, C, B. That means this part is number B part is matching with all this one. Okay, so what you need to do is that all of you please write the first part of the column here. Column A should be written, and after that one you please try to give a long line or little bit longer hyphen, and you write down the second part from the column B which is matching. So the young one of a lion, then give a hyphen and start writing that number D part here of the predicate part is called a cub. Like that you can write. And similarly, a pair of pigeon, that you give a hyphen and try to write that number E has made a nest on the window ledge. So like that way you learn to match the columns. Okay, so earlier you were generally drawing lines here and there, and in that way it was very confusing and sometimes it was misleading also. So that is why you please avoid doing like those things. And now you give hyphen in between the two columns and try to match the two columns. I think all of you are getting me. Next, let us see. Let us see something more about this subject and the predicates. Some extra information or extra rule and regulation related to that subject and predicates are given here. Let us try to read through this one. Okay, the first one is given: the subject of a sentence may be a noun or a pronoun. Obviously, all of you know this one. It may be a noun or a pronoun. Noun means what? Is a naming word, and pronoun means any words that are used for the naming words or for the noun. They are called pronoun. Okay, so in the example you can see, first is your oxygen is essential for life on the earth. So oxygen is a noun word, so that is why it has become the subject. Okay, in the second sentence you can see, I am planting a mango sapling is written here. So this I is a pronoun. So this I is a pronoun and it can be a subject. Okay, so sometime you can notice here a subject may be a longer word, or it may be a single letter word also. Okay, like that way, the length of the subject is not always same. Sometime it may be only a single letter word also, sometime it may be lengthy phrase also. Okay, like that way. Now look to the next one. In a sentence, it may be the subject. So wherever it is at the beginning of that one, it will become the subject. So it may be subject in some of the sentences. Wherever that it in this type of sentence, you can see it will bear fruit for those who live after me. So in that case, it becomes the subject. It is a pronoun and it becomes the subject of the sentence. Okay, but look at the next one. It is given here. I have tick marked here. You please try to learn it carefully. Okay, be careful with sentence that begin with there. Now you see, in such sentences there is not the subject, but there refers to the subject which is mentioned after it. So there cannot be a subject. Even if it is found at the beginning of the sentence, it cannot be a subject. Please keep it in your memory. It is specially mentioned here. So what actually the subject is, that is name of a person or thing or place about which we are going to speak. So that becomes the subject. Here we are speaking about the 3 kittens. So the 3 kittens here in the sentence becomes the subject. I hope all of you are getting me. So please keep those things in your memory. Don't include there in the part of your subject. Okay. Next, number 4th point, you can see, sometimes the subject is understood and not mentioned. So some of the places the subject may be missing, but it is understood. So please open windows. In this type of sentence, you see, you is understood. Go out, suppose I say, then go out means that is I am indicating you to go out. So you is the subject, you go out. So come in, suppose I say. Okay, so come in means you come in. In that type of way, in this type of sentences, you can understand the subject. That is, even if it is not mentioned there, not written there, then also it is understood. Okay, so next point, let us see. The predicate of a sentence tells us something about the subject. So obviously all of you know the remaining part is the predicate, and it tells us something about the subject. And you can notice here the Mughal courtiers were deliberately keeping a somber face. It is given there. So you see what the Mughal courtiers were doing when Tenali Raman arrived there. They were keeping the somber face, a serious face. Even this Tenali Raman was trying to make different kind of funny activity. Then also they were looking very serious and never trying to laugh. So what the Mughal courtiers were doing, that things are explained here. So that becomes the predicate. I think all of you are understanding. Now let us attempt this exercise part H. Circle the subject and underline the predicates in each of these sentences. I think all of you can do it. Here I have already marked out the answers, and you can easily see. Wherever I have not underlined that part, like this number 3rd one is the state bird of this Uttarakhand is written. So in that cases you may please try to do for yourself, because I did not want to make it overcrowded. So that is why is not underlined here. But you please try to underline. All of you please write this one neatly in your notebook and try to circle the part whichever your subject and underline the part whichever are predicate. I hope it is not difficult for you, so I am not wasting our time in explaining unnecessary thing. So about the Himalayan monarch. So it's name of a bird, and you can see the picture of this Himalayan monarch here by the side. I think this type of bird is called the Himalayan monarch bird. Okay, and it has become the state bird of Uttarakhand. So like that way you please understand and try to complete this writing and try to learn them properly. I hope all of you can do. So thank you very much for hearing me.